Why do we travel?
I used to think it's just for fun, to see different cultures and views, to try some local food and experiences. But I've always felt like there's something missing, that there's supposed to be something more about it. And this trip that I just took to Indonesia might have the answer for my question. So let's start with where the trip started, Jakarta. When we first landed, the very first thing we did is to go to the phone shop and set up a local SIM card. This process itself took a solid 3 hours. And during our wait on the process, I wasn't specifically mad, but definitely confused and shocked. Like, how hard can it be to set up a SIM card that took so long? But as I was observing the environment, I found out it seems like everybody was going through the same thing, even for the locals. And they seemed to be perfectly fine with it. Looking at our own operator, constantly clicking and typing, I was sure he was definitely not procrastinating. He was just slow. Later on, my friend told me that that's how they do things. They tend to take it slow in a really laid-back flow. So I accepted that. And that was the first impression I had on this country. Definitely not the best, but it was unique. Second day, we went to the most top-tier shopping center in Indonesia. It was absolutely a great one. It has the same fancy vibe like those ones I have been to before if it doesn't have more of it. It was good, but what really interested me happened after the shopping. When we stepped out of the grand building with all those fancy lighting and decoration, you normally see all those fancy cars go in front of you. The same things happened here as well, but right across the street looks like a whole different world. On this side of the road, you see Mercedes, Bentley, Maserati, all those fancy cars, you name it. While on the other side of the road sits hundreds of people on the ground with flip-flops and jeans. Some of them playing cards, some of them smoking, some of them just sipping some cheap powder drinks. It was shocking because I've seen rich, I've seen poor, but I've never seen somewhere like this where poor and rich are so closely connected, seamlessly. It was like walking into some anti-utopia novel. It was pretty sarcastic, but everyone seems to enjoy themselves. They're chilling and having a good time. It confused me. I didn't understand, like, how could such scene come into being? And after that, we took our city walk on the most regular Friday night. The above scene continued for miles. I might not say this scene itself was beautiful, but this kind of conversion was intriguing. On the way back to our Airbnb, we still ended up taking a taxi. And I met one of the most fluent local English speakers. Well, still, it comes with a strong accent, but we managed to understand each other. I told him what I just saw back there down the Grand Shopping Mall. He said it was always like that. Indonesian people are good at finding their position both in life and on the street. And so I asked, do they not feel bad sitting on the street and looking at all those fancy people and cars go in front of them, or vice versa? He responded, I think they used to, but now they're just used to it. Before I came to Indonesia, I already know that they have a strong religious culture here. They have 5 in total religious, and people do their ritual worship strictly. So I asked, is it because the religious that people can still accept life and be so happy? Absolutely, he said. And all of a sudden, I felt like I understand everything. Like all these things make sense now. They are the people who remain asleep and choose not to wake up when someone's trying to break the iron box, which slowly suffocates everybody, like Lu Xun once wrote. They are the people who choose to stay in the cave and believe the shadow on the wall is the real world, rather than go out and explore the real world, as Plato once wrote. Is this sad? I say definitely. But at the same time, we are absolutely no place to judge these people. Who knows if they ever try to change the status quo? Who knows how much educational resource they have access to break the chain? And even if they did have the access, who knows how much pain they have to deal with to accept this unshakable social class? So it was sad, because it makes me think of my own country. We are on the way to the same situation if we're not already there. And hopefully our young generation can have a better chance to turn this tide back. There's another thing that interested me. For all my previous trip, all those countries I've been to were developed countries, like United States, Japan, Australia, and New Zealand. And this is the first time for me to travel to a developing country. In those past trips, I was the one always looking up. I was amazed by other countries and their citizens. But for this time, I was the one getting looked up. To me, observing and interacting with the local was part of the traveling experience. Yet, it was also a special experience for them as well. Now, I am the admiree. I'd say this change was very interesting, not because it mentally feels good to be admired, but because it offered a different point of view. As a student studying abroad, we were always the group being underprivileged. But now, all of a sudden, we've become the privileged ones. The first thing that I noticed is that it takes great manner and personal education to respect the locals. Because first of all, these people admire you and it makes people feel good. When you see the country and their people really have some room to develop and now they're not doing their best, it will be hard to respect them for their achievement and global status. And that's when ethics comes in. You will still respect them because you have the sympathy. And that's when your education comes in. You will still respect them because you learn so much and seen so much that you understand the prosper of a country takes millions of factors to fulfill. And those factors were affected by history, natural environment, culture, politics, and so on. And also because you understand that nothing lasts forever. The wheel of history always moves on. The power of the nation in one moment cannot determine the nature of the nation. I guess as Chinese people, we understand this rule better than anybody else does. With the above reasons, yes, I still respect them. But as you can see, it takes a lot of factors to do that, and it's very complicated. Certainly not everyone can do it. So next time, if we get maltreated unluckily, it doesn't matter if you're a student like me who study abroad or you're one of them currently in China. We won't be hurt as much as we haven't found out this nature of human being. And vice versa. If next time we see something we don't like or we don't particularly understand, we can still think of these factors we have discussed above to stay respectful. So that's it. I guess this is the reason why we travel. Just to see more of the world and understand it as it is. Okay guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support and love. And make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video. And if you guys are interested in more videos like this, if you guys have any thoughts, just contact me straight up and let's see if we can make something out of it. And everybody stay well and I'll be seeing you guys soon. Take care.